Press the bell icon and never miss an update from ET Auto.
Hello and welcome to ET Auto. I have here with me Mr. Stefan Palskog, who is President of Scania India, the luxury commercial vehicle manufacturer. Welcome to ET Auto. Looking at the GST, we have seen there has been a lot of growth in terms of high end of commercial vehicle. How do you see the market transforming in this transforming time in India?
I think there is a transforming going on, although many of us are thinking it's go too slow. But on the other hand, we have to realize that for just a few years ago, we did not have ethanol as a fuel at all in this country. And we worked a lot together with the government to make a policy happen, and it happened. It was notified, and we have a fuel after a couple of years of hard working, with a lot of discussions based on a white paper that we handed over to the government for more than 2 years ago. So I think when it comes to speed, we of course always wish faster, but we also have to realize that transform from one paradigm to another takes some time.
We just heard Mr. Nitin Gadkari talking about the challenges that we have in front of us while we go to implement biofuels like ethanol that you have. You have successfully run commercial vehicles, buses in cities like Nagpur. But there is a challenge. What is stopping you from bringing electric vehicle? You also have electric commercial vehicle which is running in several cities abroad. Minister also committed that once you are ready to bring in, we will provide you all the support. So what is really stopping you from taking that step?
I think we must see the basic of the doing business first of all. I mean, our role is of course to have a profitable business out of what we are doing. And I think that what needs to be done here is putting a value on the environment to really come to the correct conclusions when it comes to what should it really cost to have these kind of solutions in this country in a broader scale than it is today.
So you're talking about cost effectiveness, and that's what the minister also talks about, cost competitiveness in terms of product, and in terms of producing product is also a challenge. You are talking about volume probably. If you have volume, you will probably bring in. Minister also talked about that if you agree to be here, we can provide you 5,000, 10,000 or 1 lakh vehicles deal. So it seems more like chicken and egg story. How are we going to decode this?
I think what we can understand is that we are here for a long haul, and that means that we can not just be depending on some few volumes promises from wherever it comes. We need to see that the country is evolving in the direction that will support a transformation towards transport solutions that are more sustainable than they are today. And by that I mean to say also that it's not only the volume question. We need to see that ticket prices are changed. We need to see that roads are in a shape, the infrastructure is there for the fuel and so forth and so forth. So it's not just a matter of a number, it's the whole stakeholder chain that have to support this shift.
Okay, we are talking about this shift. The minister has very strongly pointed his opinion for electric vehicle, but we do not see any major strong roadmap for biofuels and ethanol. What could be the reason? He pointed out that the running cost of a biodiesel is higher than electric vehicle probably, but you have also said that 2 electric vehicle one can buy 5 biofuel powered bus. So how do you explain this?
I think we should start with defining the value of clean air first of all. And by doing that, you can really make a new calculation. And instead of just comparing the cost of a diesel compared with the cost of the biodiesel, we have to see the complete cost for the society. You have health problems, you have problems because of pollution in the cities. And for sure, if you take in that in the calculation, the cost of the diesel will be much, much higher than the biodiesel.
We give a logic of that EV, which is also a pollution-free, or you can say less polluting vehicle. That's what he is saying. The operating cost on EV is far lesser than biodiesel or biofuel.
For a mid and long term, for sure, we do need electricity, and for the short and mid term, we do have solutions today. So I think what we need to do to be really consequent when it comes to going out from the fossil dependence that we have is to use all the known technologies that we have. And for sure, biofuel in many aspects is proven technology since many, many years back, while electricity is not. So we have to see what is mature and what is not mature, and where can we really make the shift happen now. So in the short term, for sure, taking care about the biofuel possibilities in this country is a short and mid-term solution that we can provide here and now. And as a by-effect, we also create a lot of jobs in the rural sector. So I think we should not only focus on the technology in itself, we should look at the complete ecosystem.
Reducing the pollution should be the agenda. This is what you're trying.
Pollution is one big agenda in the big cities here in India, for sure. And of course, also the dependence on the crude oil. You heard the minister said that that is the second biggest problem that this government is facing, the dependency of import of crude oil, which drive the inflation.
Going forward, for Scania, which are the area where you will be majorly focusing when it comes to investing? And in terms of rolling out products, do you see opportunity for localizing now in India for any type of vehicle that you?
We have a gap between what is possible to use from suppliers here in India to what we have from other places where we do have a new technology. So we do need some volumes, we do need some kind of period of incentives to be able to transfer that knowledge, volume and technology to the Indian market. And by that we can then both localize and also offer these transport solutions for the Indian market. It comes for trucks, it comes for buses.
So your next level of investment, do you think you will be investing in electric vehicle in India? Looking at the scenario right now, it's changing very rapidly and there's strong thrust on electric vehicle. Like the minister also said, if you are able to bring the vehicle today, they are ready to give you those numbers.
I think, as I said before, we should use the technology that we already have in hand. It's a shelf technology, and the other one is also that the electricity comes very fast, you say, or the minister said, and let's see if that really is what's going to happen, because we also need to see how the infrastructure is going to be built up. We're talking about commercial vehicles, which are quite a big difference compared with rickshaws or with cars, for example. So the requirement of infrastructure is quite different in that aspect. So let's see if that really will happen so fast that everyone is believing.
Because when we talk about the industry body SIAM, that also projects that the easiest way to move towards electrification is by making public transport, which mainly comes from electric buses. So there you have a lot of opportunity coming up in electric vehicle, like electric buses, like other Ashok Leyland, Tata, Mahindra, Eicher, they all have products in electric buses they are ready to bring in. So don't you think you will be left behind if you continue to focus on biodiesel, where the government is still doesn't seem so serious they are looking towards electric vehicle?
We are not afraid of being behind. We do have electrification of our vehicles as well. As you saw maybe in the model there, we are running also pilots when it comes to electrical highways. So I am not afraid about losing that. What I'm afraid about is that everyone is looking for the solution that doesn't exist, which are a little bit trying to find what is behind the corner and not seeing the reality which we have today in front of us. And it was also very much talked in this round table about the need of change when it comes to legislations, incentives, and the approach towards every stakeholder needed to make this happen, independent if it is electrical or if it is biofuel. I don't see any conflict at all. And we are rather confident that we do need all kind of different sources, electricity, biofuel, or whatever it is, to be less dependent on the crude oil, that's for sure. And when you're talking about electricity, you are also talking about batteries. And when you're talking about batteries, you're talking about technology. And when you're talking about battery technology, you're talking about material. And where that material comes from? So going from one dependence from crude oil to one other dependence when it comes to the material, lithium in batteries, is also a choice that you have to do. So one day you have to be clear of what you really want to do. And it also said here in the table, around the table, that country India have to decide maybe not today, what should be the mainstream. Because it's a huge country, it's a lot of different possibilities. Some states have waste from agriculture as a huge potential, other ones have not. So I think we have to have a selective and differentiated way of thinking and attacking these transport solutions.
Of course, ethanol or biofuel is very important when we talk about, reducing pollution. What kind of penetration do you see going forward in this direction in India when it comes to commercial vehicle and overall?
I think it will be a gradually slower penetration than we from the beginning thought, because what Euro 6 or Bharat 6 will give the diesel is now a very much cleaner diesel or less pollution. And as it was said here today as well, the government is very dedicated when it comes to introduce Bharat 6 as from 1st of April 2020. And for sure, we are prepared as a producer of those engines, so that's not a problem. So I think by cleaning up that diesel, the incentives to put more pressure on bioelectricity will go a little bit down from a pollution point of view, but not from a dependence of crude oil. But I think that's less important. These 11 big cities here in India, which are rather heavily polluted, will be very much helped by that. What I also would like to see is, of course, what do we do with the rolling fleet? There has been a lot of discussions about the scrap fee. I really don't see if that works so very efficient on the roads when I'm out there. And the rolling stock, some of these vehicles are polluting tremendous much more than the Bharat 4 standard. So we should also discuss and see how could we really take care about that one, because the rolling stock is bigger than the new ones coming in. So
that is very
we should look at a little more about holistic view and not only on the fact that there is a surplus of electricity today.
Coming back to Scania's plan, what is your expansion or investment plan in India now? You have already invested in a plant a few years ago, but now looking at the growth, looking at the transformation, how do you look at it?
We are following the market extremely close, of course, and wherever we are investing based on the needs from the market. So investment should be seen as a consequence of the market development, not the other way around. So what we can see now is that the market is slower developing than we have thought about from the beginning. And we have already invested, as you said, 400 crores in the facility in Narasapura, and we do have more capacity to be used. So I don't see the capacity issue at this moment as an issue for us. I'm more worried about the development on the market.
Where do you see India in your global roadmap going forward? And what is your rightful place in India as a commercial vehicle manufacturer or provider?
We are still a premium manufacturer, and we will be there for sure. And that goes both for trucks and for buses, or also for engines, of course. And I think the premium segments is wherever we are, small compared with the mass industry. We are a niche player because we can offer the best total economy for our customers. And I think that is our base and our home corner, so to say. So the total operation efficiency is much more important for us, for the customer, than volume and such. So we are a niche player in that sense, but in a premium one.
Okay. Thank you so much for talking to ET Auto, Stefan. Great pleasure. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.